Hey everyone, it's me Camilla. I'm here to make a video today. I apologize in advance if I scratch my nose or have to use a tissue. I have a little bit of a nose cold today, a little head cold. But I'm going to be doing some commentary and stating my opinion on some of the big political and just topics of trans society in 2023. If you don't know, I started my transition in 2013. So that was 10 years, like, coming up on 10 years this year. So I've been in medical transition for about a decade now. And I've lived more of my adult life as a female, a trans woman, a trans female, as I've lived as a guy. I started my transition at 23. So I lived as my adult for only like just 5 years. And I was on blockers though. I started blockers at 21, testosterone blockers. So I was technically on some form of hormone medication for 13 years, 13 years this year. So I did have lower testosterone levels, but my commentary today, I'm going to go over a few different things that are really personal to me. One thing is that I don't really care for is the cancel culture of the trans community. And how about Hogwarts Legacy and J.K. Rowling? I don't have any issue with her. She hasn't offended me. She hasn't said anything I don't disagree with her. She has some valid points. Women that are born women are biologically women. They're females. And trans women are biologically male. And there isn't just a difference. If you don't believe that, you're crazy. There's such a difference. And in the woke culture, we actually have people that believe that you don't even have to have dysphoria to be trans. Why in the world would you transition if you don't have dysphoria? Like, tell me. I don't know why, but it's just how I feel. And there are people that actually think that like, you don't have to have dysphoria to go on this medicine. First of all, medicine is made to treat a sickness or an ailment. And being transgender means you have gender dysphoria. There's a diagnosis in the APA's DSM-5. It's called gender dysphoria. And that means that your gender in your mind is not aligned and congruent with your body and your genitals. So that means you identify as something other than the sex you were originally born at. So if I was born male and I choose to live my life as female, like, society treats me as a woman. I'm legally a female. I went to the courts and petitioned. I had a letter from my gynecologist stating I had reached maximum medical improvement, and that it made me on a federal level, federal in all states, and also on a state level with my driver's license being female too, and also my name Camilla. But I was born Erin Hastings, and that was my name. It was spelled E-R-A-N, and I still use that name because it was androgynous, and my parents I'm so happy they had an androgynous name for me. But like, my parents still use that name with me, and it's kind of awkward when they call me Camilla. Like, my mom always writes my birthday cards and Christmas cards to Camilla, and she texts me as Camilla, but it still feels kind of like not so organic. And I have the connection where I'm not going to take Erin away from my mom and dad. I'm the only child, and I really care for my parents a lot. So, pardon me, I have a head cold. But there are people that are appropriating trans people and considering themselves trans. They literally don't put in any effort. Like, they'll have facial hair and a full mustache, like at least shadow, and it's like they don't take any step towards feminizing themselves. It's mainly like I'm talking about male to female. I will say that with female to male, not quoting, but citing something that Buck Angel had stated, that female to male transsexuals are transitioning at a 4,000% increase. So there are actually more transgender men or people that are starting transitions to be male than there are to be female. And historically, it's always been like mainly trans women. So female to male converting to non-binary, I think, is the biggest thing right now. I don't understand. I'm a trans person. I don't understand how someone could have plural pronouns for a singular person. If I went to the mall and I drove myself, I don't drive because I have Meniere's disease, but if I did, and my mom asked, where did Erin go? She went to the store. So she went to the mall. She, because I'm one person. Where's Erin? Oh, they drove to the mall. That sounds so weird. Where's Camilla? She drove to the mall. That sounds normal. Where's Camilla? They drove to the mall. They drove? That sounds weird. It's like, yeah, if there was a couple people, but not for one person. That's weird. I don't get it. I really don't. And I'm trans. So if you don't understand it and you're like questioning the trans community, I completely understand and respect if you don't understand me. But I hope that you know that I acknowledge that I am anatomically a man. And I may have secondary sex characteristics that are female. I may have feminized the way my face looks, or my chest, or my body. Like, I have like thin arms now, and no veins in my hands. I used to be all veiny before I transitioned. My skin changed, but I've been on hormones for 10 years. It takes a long time. And it takes 5 years to really reach maximum medical improvement for most people that are male to female. So we have Dylan Mulvaney doing the Days of Girlhood, and I'm just like so sickened by that. He's so repulsing. I'm gonna use she out of respect, but Dylan, she just came out of nowhere and did the Days of Girlhood series. Excuse me. Doing the Days of Girlhood series, and she's not a girl. She's a grown man that's a trained Broadway actor, and now she is becoming a female. I mean, I don't have an issue if she may be really a trans woman, but she's appropriating female behavior, and it's a mockery. It's satirical. And it's like, that's not how women really are, and she makes fun of, it's almost making fun of or mocking. Like, I would legitimately think if I watched those videos, that it was literally someone making a joke. That's how I feel about it. And I think that the trans community boycotting Hogwarts Legacy is probably the stupidest thing, because the cancel culture has actually went against the trans community's desire and is selling at a higher rate because of the boycott from the trans community. It's driven, when someone tells you not to do something, people are tempted to do it. And it's like the trans community is like, don't buy this, it's transphobic. How is it transphobic? J.K. Rowling is allowed to have her own opinion of what a female or a male is, and that's fine. I have no issue with someone having a different opinion than my community, but I don't personally disagree with her. Honestly, I don't. And people, I'm like the black sheep. I always wear black too, but I'm the black sheep of like all of the trans community that I am associated with, because I have leaned more towards the right than the left. And for me, there are certain things that I just don't agree with. And, I'm not going to go into detail of topics other than trans topics, but the other thing that is really the most upsetting is the trans youth and then detransitioners. I think that any parent that allows their child to get a double mastectomy at 12 years old needs to go to jail for child abuse. Yeah, child abuse. It's child abuse. I came out to my mom when I was 11. and this was in 2001. This was back when it was almost still analog. And I could tell you I learned about trans people through autobiographies written by trans people that my mom bought on eBay for me. That's how I found out and learned that I could transition. I didn't know how they did it. Like, how did they go from guy to girl? I didn't know the whole medical procedures and like what they do to the face or what the hormones do to the body. Or, like my breast I've not had breast implants. They are all natural. They're from synthetic hormones, and it took me about 5 years for my breast to fully develop. And my breast weigh, I am a 36D cup. So I'm a little bit above average from most women, but I'm definitely above average for most trans women. I don't need to get a breast implant. I don't think that I need that. That's a personal thing that I don't feel I need. And I see that trans youth trying to get all of these surgeries, and I know what it's like to be in the beginning of your transition and how overwhelmingly exciting it is because you're finally getting to be yourself. And I get it. And maybe TikTok is exposing transsexuality to people, and that's why everyone's transitioning, and the percentage of people doing that is increasing really quickly in the past 2 years. It's because of social media, mainly TikTok. And kids are learning about this way too young. And it's something that it should be left to the parents to explain. I think sexual education is a very important part, and safe sex is a very important part of any public school system. I went to private school, so I had a different experience than a public school. But what I could say is that it's important that kids learn at a reasonable age what to expect and respect women and respect men and learn to have respect. But you're either a male or you're a girl. You're a female or a male. You're either a man or a woman, not girl. I apologize. You're either a man or a woman. There's not they. There is not no binary is what I was going to say. There's not no they. You can't use plural pronouns for one person. And the thing about children transitioning is think back to when you were, if you're able to envision being 11 or 12 years old. Think for a while. You probably made some stupid decisions at that age because you were a kid and your brain was still developing. So kids aren't allowed to get tattoos. Why? Because it's permanent unless you go through extensive laser. It's like I had my facial hair removed. You can reverse puberty, but I think it's important to wait until at least like 16 or 17 to start any form of transition. I'm not completely opposed to children, like as far as teens, like maybe 16, 17, 18 years old enough to understand some of the ramifications of the transition. Then maybe a T blocker until they're 18. But I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm just telling them what I think would be reasonable as a trans person. But maybe just that at that age. But 12 years old getting permanent surgeries and sterilizing children at the rate that they're doing in these sanctuary states, it's sickening. And that's why our community looks so bad. If you want to know why the trans community looks bad, it's because the trans community shoots itself in the foot. I can't overemphasize that enough. So I'm going to end this video on in this tangent. I appreciate you listening, but I hope that I made some points clear that you can understand from a transsexual's point of view and the way that I see things, and understand that this is all my personal bias and everything that I say is allegedly what I feel. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. And if you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe. Have a wonderful day.